Hello, everybody. Field Anish here, also known as Yusei, or Cam, if you knew me before the VTuber times. And I wanted to do this video to basically explain what's been happening over these last few months, and I guess why I haven't been as active on this channel recently, and just basically give an update on a few different things that I feel like are important to talk about. So I guess I'll start with saying that right now it's nothing dangerous. It's not anything that is going to like take me out, so to speak. And I have been able to keep up with streaming despite this problem that has arisen. So I'm definitely happy about that. But it's definitely something I'm going to have to keep in mind going forward. But I at least wanted to say that right now that it's not anything that's going to be life threatening, which is good. So I guess I'll start with where this all started. So near a year ago, I started noticing while eating that I was having difficulty with swallowing things. Um, Euphemism aside, um, the there was like a resistance there, and I thought it was a bit weird. Now, sometimes it would happen with like sometimes people will understand when you eat like starchy things, like I don't know, like potato or something. Um, it can feel like it gets stuck there, and you need to like get some water, and then like oh, I need to just gulp it down. But I started noticing that it was becoming more common, even though I was cutting food properly and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, this is a bit okay, whatever. Maybe I got a sore throat or I had a cold or something, or I sort of just wrote it off. And then my first proper incident happened when I was actually streaming. I was doing a collab with a friend, and I was eating dinner. Um, and then while I was eating dinner, I was eating. I remember this vividly. I was eating steak, and then the steak just got stuck, basically, um, in my esophagus, and I had to rush to the bathroom. And I won't go into all of the details because it's kind of gross. But long story short, I was there for a little while. I was panicking at the time because I was like, "Oh God, am I choking? Am I? What is this? Did I just eat a piece that was like really big? Did I not cut it up properly?" And yeah, I got worried, so I went straight there and um, got it dealt with. I think is the best way to say. And then I came back, and I just very casually just said on stream, "Sorry guys, I was choking." And I don't mean choking as in like video game choking. I mean like actually choking. So I took some time just to wind down, and then obviously ended the stream after that. I was a little bit shaken up after the whole thing. And I went, okay, well, that was terrifying. Um, I've never choked before, so like that. So I kind of just sort of wrote it off as like, oh, I just ate like an abnormally big piece of meat. The euphemisms just really write themselves, but it's true. Um, until literally a couple weeks later, when I was eating with the family, and it happened again. We were eating Korean. I remember this also vividly. We were eating Korean, and I ate a strip of beef, and it wasn't a large piece. It was like a small strip of beef, and the same thing happened, and I had to rush to the bathroom. And at that point, that's when I started getting worried because one time, one time's a fluke, bad luck, but two times within 2 weeks, um, that is not normal. So I decided that, okay, maybe I should go to the doctor about this, which I did. Now, at the time, my family were like, oh, it's probably nothing, or maybe you're just stressed, or, only, they were saying, like, basically go to the doctor if it'll help put your mind at ease. And I did go to the doctor, and they took a look at my GP, I should say, general practitioner. So I didn't actually go to like a hospital. I just went to my local health, clinic, and they took a look, and they basically went, "We can't see anything." And the only way that we'll be able to see more is if you have a endoscopy done. Now, at the time, I didn't go for it because I went, okay, I'm not going to go for it quite yet. If it happens again, though, if it ever happens again, I'm going to go straight to back to basically get an endoscopy done. For a while, I didn't have any incident. I did still notice that there was resistance while eating. And it happened again. This time while eating carrot sticks, of all things. I was literally, I like eating like snacky foods, but I try to avoid chocolate where I can. So I usually, for my snacky foods, I usually go for are like grapes or carrot sticks, because you could just chomp them down. You can just eat them. And at that point, it was clear to me that something was wrong. I was like, okay, no, this shouldn't be happening. Not with a damn carrot stick, Like I heard that beef because before with the steak and the beef, I have heard that beef is one of the most common foods that gets stuck just because something to do with its texture. So I didn't think about it back then. But with a carrot, it's like it's a carrot, and like I said, I wasn't like eating them whole. I was chewing, I was properly chewing them, and wasn't just swallowing them whole. So at that point, I went, no, something's wrong. So I started getting prepped to go to the hospital. Now, the reason why this is relevant to why I've been out of doing my YouTube stuff as regularly as I have been is because I'm the type of person where there's all your different things that you can focus on. And some people are really good at focusing at many different things at once, such as, relationships, social life, work life, personal time. And I feel I'm the type of person where I definitely have a limit to how much I can do at once. So basically, this was me adding in the responsibility of looking after my health to the extreme. Not even just taking days off for myself, but, actually trying to figure out what a problem was. And that was taking up my YouTube time. I decided I still wanted to go on with streaming. Streaming is, it still has its challenges, of course, but it's a bit less. I don't want to say it's less work, but it's a different kind of work, I think is the best way to put it. Whereas with YouTube, you got to dedicate some time to editing videos, making sure they look nice. Obviously, a lot of the stuff I've been uploading has been from my streams, and it still takes time to edit them to make sure that they sound okay, to make sure that they're uploaded okay, make sure the copyright music is out if there's any copyright music. So honestly, that's been falling by the wayside because of this health stuff, because I've been focusing a lot of my energy in getting this health stuff sorted. And now, months later from that first incident, this past weekend, I mentioned that I was going to the hospital for a procedure. Now, it's funnily enough, there was a bunch of health things that happened at the same time. I mentioned that I had a root canal done, and it's still in the process of getting done. And also, I found out that my blood count was low, so I've been tired because of that as well. So I've been needing to eat more iron rich foods. But this past weekend, I went to the hospital and I had an endoscopy done, which I'm not gonna lie, was not very pleasant. It was not pleasant in the slightest. I was very anxious going into it because I've never had it done before, and I actually had a panic attack before it happened. Funnily enough, it happened because of a cannula being stuck into my vein. That's the first time I've ever had a cannula. And the thing is, I'm actually okay with needles. I've never had a problem with needles. Obviously, I don't like seeing them getting stuck into my skin, but like the actual thought of a needle, it's fine to me. I've never had a problem with that. The part that I had a problem with was my brain was like something was there that's not supposed to be there. And that was the part that made me freak out. Like, what is this thing invading my personal space, like, massively? With this thing being stuck into my vein, basically. And that was the part that made me freak out. I have the same sort of response to blood tests. Nowhere near as extreme, but they make me still feel a bit faint. Whereas the actual needle part isn't the problem. The part that makes me freak out is that is blood that is from my body that's supposed to be in my body. Why is it going out? Like, logically, I know why it's going out because it's for a test. Or logically, I know why the cannula is going into my vein. It's so that they could give me sedatives, to help calm you down during the procedure. Because I signed up to have sedatives to help me relax, basically, because I do get anxiety. But man, that made me freak out. So I actually had to stay there a bit longer because they had to register. They had to take my blood pressure, and yeah, I hadn't had a panic attack like that in a good long while. Whole body ran cold, got a blanket, pins and needles in the hands, and yeah, it just wasn't very pleasant. I went in to get the procedure done, and I was very, very anxious. I was so anxious during the whole thing, but the nurses that I got were super lovely. They were so supportive, and I really, really did appreciate that. And they got it done. And then after it all, I finally got my answer. And it turns out I have a rare abnormality in my esophagus/throat. I'm going to do my best to pronounce this. I actually have the sheet right here, so I could try reading it off. Eosinophilic esophagitis. So, translation, that basically mean, from what I was told, what it is white blood cells are reacting to something, either that I'm eating or breathing. It could be pollen, it could be food, it could be anything. I don't know what it is yet. That currently is still being tested to see if we can find an answer. But that's causing my throat to basically swell up and inflame and close up, which causes, obviously, food to get stuck there. Or, in some cases, there's not even food at all stuck there, and it's just my brain thinking that there's something stuck there. So, it's actually causing a reaction sometimes to things that aren't even there, but thinks it's there. And I can assure you that it definitely feels like it's real, that there is something there, even if there isn't something there. Because that very same day, I kind of underestimated how sore my throat was after the whole endoscopy thing. And I tried eating something, and lo and behold, it got stuck. And that was the most unpleasant experience in the last 12 months. I was so exhausted by the end, one, after having a medical procedure, and two, because of that whole ordeal. But yeah, it's been affecting me for a while now. I guess why I'm telling you guys this is because I wanted to give an actual proper explanation for why I've been less active And honestly, it's not even because of the condition itself. It's because of the mental willpower I've been putting into trying to figure out what the condition is. Um, Going to the doctor, getting the procedure done, and all of that stuff. And now I have an answer, and more answers are still going to be needed. Best case scenario will be I find out what causes the reaction. It's like an allergic reaction. Basically, the white blood cells in my throat are reacting to something which is causing them to close up and then like inflame and swell up the throat, which causes the problem. Luckily, it's where it's located. It's not near any airways, so when it closes up, I can still breathe, which is, thank God, because that would have actually caused major problems. It's obviously still not pleasant, but at the very least, it's still breathable. So I'm not in any danger there, which is good. But I guess the other reason I'm mentioning this is not just because I wanted to tell you guys why I've been less active on places lately, but also because I want this to be a message to people that if you feel something is wrong and people tell you, nah, it's all in your head, or nah, you're just being paranoid, or nah, just do it if it'll put your mind at ease. No one knows your body better than yourself. And I think you should be able to say to yourself, no, this is something that I'm concerned about, and I want to get it sorted. Because God knows what would have happened if I have left it even longer. In fact, I was so anxious during that procedure. There were times where they said, do you want to put this off? Do you want to do it a different day? Do you want to do a different test first? But then if you find something on that test, then you're going to have an endoscopy done anyway. And at that point, I was like, no, I gotta know. I've come this far. I literally said to the nurse, like, I literally have the needle cannula stuck in my hand right now. I can't give up now. So yeah, I went through with it, and I did get answers. Not. I wouldn't even say I'm happy because obviously I didn't want anything to be wrong. And this thing is rare. I found out when they were giving me info. It only affects 7 in 100,000 people, so I guess I live up to my name. I feel niche. Collecting all the nichest genetic abnormalities, even though it might not be genetic, because no one in my family's ever had it, and it's one of these conditions where they're like, we don't know where it comes from. But I've never known anyone in my family to have it, so yeah, that's I have no idea where it came from. I guess maybe my body is just anxious by DNA, by standard. But the important thing is now I know, and I can move forward with steps to recovery and living with this, because this is going to be this. They said this is something that can heal, or it could be something that lasts with you your entire life. But there are ways to cope with it. Best case scenario is I find out what the allergy is, and then if it's something like food, cut it out of my diet. And hope to God it isn't something I love eating. I'm gonna be so pissed if it's seafood. I'm gonna be so pissed if it's seafood. But yeah, it's hopefully something that I can deal with going forward. And with that, I feel like now that I've started this road to figuring out, now that I've figured out what the problem is and the road to recovery can start now, I can now focus a bit more of that effort into getting back to YouTube, into getting back into, like, more content creation on Twitter or whatever. Honestly, at this point, if you can just follow and my Twitter or my Twitch or anything like that, it would seriously help out with all of this. Not even financially, just it'll be nice to know that people are watching. It's I want to keep doing what I want to do because I enjoy it. I'm not gonna let this stop me. I haven't let it stop me for the better part of this year. I've continued streaming. I've had obviously rougher days than other days. But I'm not gonna let it stop me, and definitely not into the new year. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. So I do have the rest. I did finish streaming Yakuza Like a Dragon, so those episodes will be coming out. By God, they will. That will finish. There won't be, there will always be, those recordings, so I can upload them, no problem. It might take some time while I get back into the swing of things, but those will get uploaded, so you will get the full playthrough. And I know people have been asking me for Lost Judgment. I wanted to take a small break from a Ryuga Gotoku game, but I do own Lost Judgment, so I will be able to play it when I'm ready to play it, which will be hopefully sooner rather than later. But I do know people have been asking me to play it, and that's been making me happy because, some people have been like, I want you to play it because I enjoy your playthroughs, man. And I'm like, man, that makes me happy. And I'll also be streaming that as well. So, yeah. I guess for now, if you want to help out, just spread my stuff around, Just make sure as many people know about it as possible. Share, like, comment, subscribe, follow Twitch, follow Twitter. Obviously, I'll have all of those things in the description. Yeah. Any way that you can help that way is greatly appreciated. So for now, I will get back to what I do best. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care all. Goodbye.